You found the best in Michigan State sports coverage, SpartanMag.com. Subscribe today to SpartanMag.com and get 50% off the annual rate. That's just 15 cents per day. The 50% off deal is valid now until the Michigan game on October 30th. So don't go another day without SpartanMag.com's complete, unmatched coverage and analysis of Michigan State football, basketball, and recruiting. No one takes you inside the program like SpartanMag.com's Jim Comparoni and Paul Konadike, whether it's on campus or around the country. Spartan Mag has covered 19 bowl games, 70 NCAA tournament games, and 8 Final Fours. No one breaks it down like SpartanMag.com. We bring daily recruiting coverage to a loyal community of Michigan State fans at the Underground Bunker message board. Now is the time to get on board. Go to SpartanMag.com, look for the red breaking tab at the top of the page, and get started to get 50% off your subscription to SpartanMag.com, your source for Michigan State sports coverage and recruiting.
You start off.
Yeah, I'd say, they're a good defense. Watching them on film, they do a lot of good stuff. They got good players as well. And, they're going to be a tough team to play, and we're excited to get going against them.
The last 2 years, they've had a really good defensive fronts. Obviously starting off with Hutchinson, you always got to know where he's at. And, on the back end, you can definitely see that they've improved from last year. And 30's a good player as well, and those are the two guys that really stick out on film to me. I think playing in the Big Ten, I think that just helps naturally, and every game's a big game. Obviously, this is the next game on our schedule, so that's a big game. But, we always play in big crowds. Obviously, there's a lot of hype, but I think Payton does a good job of, staying level-minded and staying neutral, like Coach always talks about, not being too high, not being too low, and as a quarterback, everybody's looking at you. And so he's done a great job this year, and, I think he'll do a great job this week, and, he'll make the plays that need to be made along the course of the game.
Well, I appreciate that from Connor, but, going off what he was saying, we have a lot of big games on our schedule. This is obviously one of them, and it's a huge game. We're not going to downplay it and act like it's not a big game, because it is. It's a huge game, in-state rivalry. It's been going on for years and years and years. There's a ton of history behind the game, and you got to prepare. You got to prepare like you've never prepared before. But also, like Connor said, you got to keep a level mind. It's not, you can't get caught up too much in the hype. And at the end of the day, it's a 60-minute game. The rules and the game is not changing. So it's just the opponent that's changing, and you do what you're supposed to do every week in preparation and get ready for what they do, and then you got to go out there and play well.
I think the more noise, the better. But we're the team. We have to play. Obviously, we love the hype. We see it all over social media. You see it on campus. You already see them setting up tailgate and stuff like that. But honestly, we listen to what the coaches say and what our peers and the other support people have to say. We don't really care about what's going on outside the building, and it's an opportunity. I think we've worked for this. We're 7-0, but we have to go 1-0 this week, and we hopefully the hype continues, and in order for that to happen, we have to go out there and produce.
My first experience was actually a basketball game. I believe the first time I was at or I saw the rivalry was in person. Was at a basketball game in the United Center. I think I was a senior in high school, and I went to watch, and it was obviously the Big Ten tournament, and I actually sat next to two Michigan fans, so I kind of got a taste of what it's like. And then I'm from Illinois, so I'm not from the rivalry, the in-state thing, but I knew how big it was, and then when you get here, you realize it's even bigger than you thought it was. And I've watched games over the years. I followed Michigan State for most of my life, honestly. I wasn't a dedicated fan, but I have followed them. And so you've seen the rivalry, and you've seen it in football and basketball. And it's a huge rivalry game, and it's a big game. It means a lot.
And for me, growing up, one of my best friends, Davis Mills, plays for the Texans. His dad went to Michigan State, and they bleed green through and through. So I would always watch the games with them. And my brother going to Ohio State, my family just never liked Michigan. It's always, beat Michigan, no matter what, your record is. And from my personal experience, 2017 was my first year playing Michigan. And my first actual play, I was more special team player, but first play on offense, Lewerke, when he scrambled up the middle and dove for, the end zone. His helmet kind of came off, and, it was a crazy atmosphere. And, I don't think a lot of places like that, maybe Penn State and Nebraska, but nothing really compares to, playing there.
Yeah, bye week's always nice to get guys' bodies back, physically. It's a good little rest mentally as well. Obviously, you're still preparing for the game coming this next week, but you're able to kind of take a step back. You're able to look at a couple other things and kind of look at the season so far, and try to take a look back a few weeks prior and just look at the season as a whole and some things that we've done well, some things that we need to work on, and you got a chance to improve those. So it's a good week of rest, and I do think that we took advantage of the bye week, which is good.
Yeah, exactly what Payton said. It's obviously good to have a bye week in the middle of the season, not too early, not too late, but in the middle, kind of get some guys, the nicks and bruises, get them back, and also to build depth at other positions, kind of give those younger guys some more reps, take a load off the older guys and the guys that playing a lot. Obviously the more guys that can go out there and produce, the better the team will ultimately be. No matter who's the coach at Michigan State, I feel like everybody knows, and ultimately the head coach and the assistant coaches, everybody knows in the building this is the biggest game of the year. Coach Tucker talked about earlier. This is a game that you're judged on ultimately as a player and as a coach. So you need to be at your best when your best is needed. He's an NFL guy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But we face NFL guys every week. We're one of the best conferences in the country. But I think he does a really good job of using his hands, and he has a motor. He has a motor like Kenny Willekes. I think Kenny was a great player. Kenny didn't get as much hype, but I think he's really good, and he's a player that you just have to be alert for. Kind of like the Bosas. They can make an impact, and as a quarterback, I'm not a quarterback, but you want to make your quarterback feel as comfortable as possible. So when I match up on him, I got to do what I got to do, and I know our offensive line will be prepared as long as as well as the other tight ends in the room. Last year, it was just weird playing without fans, and those are one of those games where you just want fans. They had a lot of family there and friends, more than I think we ever had at our games last year. But it's always good to hush the crowd, when you go somewhere on the road and a big game like that. But we couldn't really do that. But it just really showed how much we really wanted it last year through the tough times with COVID and just all the adjustments we had to make last year.
I think it was a good time to, like I said earlier, take a step back and kind of look at the season as a whole and see some things that we were doing well, some things that we can improve on. And obviously there was a lot of things in the Indiana game that we can improve on. So we took a look at that game, and then we took a look at a few other games as well as preparing for this week. There's a few things that stuck out in the Indiana game that you noticed when you watched the game again on film. And, it's always pretty little things. It's one guy here, one guy there. And you hear about football being the ultimate team game, and it really is, because, there's a lot of times where if one guy messes up, the whole play is done. And so we were able to see those things. And, obviously it's not always the same guy. So everyone's got to be on the same page. And, we just kind of focused on getting back to our basics. It wasn't anything we haven't done before. It wasn't anything that we said, oh, well, we might need to start doing this. It was just kind of, let's get back to what we do, and, let's focus and get ready to prepare for this week.
Yeah, we were, in the Indiana game, speak on that, we were just kind of hurting ourselves. A lot of penalties. I had a couple penalties, just undisciplined football, and, Coach Tuck hit on those things. He said what he had to say, and, we all know we had a lot of dumb, foolish penalties. Some are controllable, and other ones, you just got to be smarter. Like my one late in the game, luckily we were able to get the first down, but as a senior, I can't be doing that. And just like he said, you could definitely see little things on the film. I don't know, I was just doing a lot of dumb stuff. But as a team, as a team and as a tight end unit, we definitely saw a lot of things we need to work on, and this bye week was a good time to clean up on that, just like with little things, footwork, hand placement, and get back to the basics and fundamentals.